People think clutter is a physical problem, but honestly, the heaviest part is all in your head. I used to believe that if I just tried harder, sorted smarter, bought the right bins or drawer units, somehow my home would finally stay tidy. But the harder I tried, the more drained I felt. And the more drained I felt, the more I avoided it altogether. What I finally realized, it wasn't the mess that wore me down. It was that constant sense that I needed to do just a little more before I could relax. In this video, I'm sharing 12 calm and practical ways to make your home feel lighter. Not by working harder, but by choosing more intentionally. These aren't just tips from a list. I've used every one of these habits in a real busy home with real time limits, real energy dips, and real distractions. And the first shift I made, I cleared just one surface and left it empty for 24 hours. What happened next surprised me more than I expected. Let's start with a simple question. Does this item still deserve to be here? Some things in our home aren't big. They're not broken. They don't even make a mess. But somehow, every time we look at them, they make the space and our minds feel heavier. Instead of asking, should I get rid of this, try asking, is this item still earning its place in my home? That one small shift in wording can change everything. Because so often the things we keep aren't things we actually use, they're things we haven't gotten around to deciding on. Start with a single drawer, your bedside table, your kitchen, catch all that pile near the entry. One by one, pick things up and ask yourself, if I didn't already own this, would I go out and get it again? If not, maybe it's time to thank it for what it gave you and let it return that space to you. I remember holding onto a small glass vase with a chipped rim. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't beautiful anymore either. For years, it just sat on the dining table, mostly out of habit. The day I finally let it go, I didn't replace it with anything. But suddenly, the whole table felt lighter. And somehow, so did I. When you release even one item that no longer serves you, you're not just decluttering. You're reclaiming a piece of your home that's been holding space for something that's already over. So how do you keep that momentum going without constantly forcing yourself to get organized? That's where a simple habit can make all the difference. And if you've ever wondered how to make your home stay tidy without constantly cleaning and re-cleaning, tomorrow's video is exactly what you need. I'll be sharing the simple daily system I use to keep my home calm and under control, almost without effort. Don't miss it! Next, let's talk about a habit that keeps the clutter moving without needing a big clean-out day. One of the easiest ways to stop clutter from building up is to stop pretending every item needs a decision right now. Because here's the truth, when you're already tired, overwhelmed, or just trying to get through the day, the last thing you want is to overthink where a barely used mug or that old phone charger should go. That's where the donation bag that lives with you comes in. And I mean that literally. Keep one open, empty bag somewhere visible but out of the way near your coat rack in your laundry room, or even inside a closet you open daily. You don't need to plan a big decluttering session to use it. Just drop things in one at a time when the moment feels right. That sweater you tried on for the third time but didn't wear into the bag. The coffee mug you keep avoiding because the handle's too small. Bag it. The makeup product you never liked but kept just in case. In it goes. I've kept a donation bag by the garage door for years. I don't fill it quickly, and that's not the goal. What matters is that it's there. It removes the mental barrier of I need time to declutter. No, you just need 1 second and somewhere for that item to go. And the best part, when the bag is full, you don't need to sort or rethink. You've already made the decision gently and slowly, one small moment at a time. And once you've got this slow release system in place, the next step is even more powerful because it helps you quiet the emotional noise behind the clutter itself. Now let's look at something a little less visible but way more draining. Some clutter doesn't just take up space, it talks. You know exactly what I mean. That pair of jeans that hasn't fit in years whispering you should have lost the weight by now. The untouched craft supplies that quietly judge you for not being the mom who makes homemade cards. The unread books on your nightstand that make you feel behind before your day even starts. These aren't just objects, they're triggers. Silent little messengers that remind you of what you haven't done, who you thought you'd be, or where you feel you've fallen short. When we talk about decluttering, we often focus on physical relief. But this step is about emotional release. You don't have to keep things that make you feel less than, even if they were expensive, gifted, or once part of your identity. And yes, even if they're still technically fine. Start by walking through your space and simply noticing what items make your stomach sink a little. What do you avoid eye contact with? What makes you feel behind guilty or not good enough? I once had a beautiful, pricey blazer I bought during a maybe I'll be more professional phase. It fit, kind of. But every time I saw it, I felt like I wasn't living up to the version of myself I was supposed to be. The day I let it go, I finally gave myself permission to stop pretending I needed to be someone else. Clearing these emotionally loaded items isn't just about making space. It's about reclaiming your self-worth. You deserve to live in a home that reflects who you are now, not who you were trying to impress 5 years ago. And once the judgmental items are gone, we can make space for something refreshing. A pause, a reset, a surface that helps you breathe again. Sometimes the quickest way to feel better isn't organizing more, it's letting one thing stay completely undone. In a house full of responsibilities, we get used to filling every space, a basket here, a tray there, a stack that just needs to be sorted later. But all those little clusters eventually blur together into background stress. Your brain sees every surface as another task, another thing that's waiting on you. So here's the shift: pick one surface, any surface, and leave it completely clear for the next 24 hours. No decorations, no functional piles, no this lives here anyway. Nothing. Just clean, empty space. It could be the kitchen island, your coffee table, the top of your dresser. Wherever your eyes land, most often start there. Wipe it down, step back, and resist the urge to fill it back up. Let it just breathe. The first time I did this, I cleared off the bench by the front door. Normally it held shoes, bags, keys, receipts, all the stuff of daily life. But after I cleared it, every time I walked by, I felt calmer. It was like giving my brain a tiny place to rest. You'll be amazed at how one simple empty spot can reset your sense of control. It's a visual pause, a signal to yourself that not everything needs to be held right now. Some things can just be still. And once you've given yourself that pocket of calm, it's the perfect moment to try something even smaller but surprisingly powerful. If decluttering feels overwhelming, shrink the task until it fits inside your day. One of the biggest reasons we avoid clearing clutter is because it feels like a project. And projects need time, energy, and a solid stretch of peace, which most of us don't exactly have lying around. But you don't need a weekend to make a difference. You just need 10 things. Here's the habit. Once a day, walk into any room, grab a small bag or box, and find 10 items that don't need to stay. Trash counts. That expired coupon on the counter 1. The dried up pen in your drawer 2. The chipped mug you've been meaning to replace 3. Keep going until you hit 10. You can even make it a game. Set a timer for 5 minutes and see how fast you can hit your 10. Or turn it into a daily rhythm, maybe right after brushing your teeth or while dinner's cooking. It doesn't matter when. What matters is momentum. I've done this with my kids too. We'll walk into the playroom each with a bag and race to see who can hit 10 first. It turns a chore into a quick reset. And over time, those 10 items a day add up in a big way. This isn't about making a room perfect. It's about proving to yourself that action doesn't have to be heavy, that even on your busiest days you can still lighten your load just a little. And when you've shown yourself that even small steps create real change, you're ready to tackle something surprisingly emotional, not with judgment, but with honesty. Not all clutter is messy. Some of it is deeply personal, and that's why it's hard to let go. We all have those items we can't seem to decide on. The handmade bag from a trip we barely remember. The gift from someone we love but don't really use. The object that belonged to a different version of ourselves before the kids, before the move, before everything changed. When you're stuck, don't try to power through it. Don't force a yes or no. Instead, slow down. Pick one item, just one, and let it tell its full story. Where did it come from? What did it once mean to you? Do you still feel that way now? What do you feel when you hold it? Joy, guilt, pressure, love, discomfort. I worked with someone once who was holding onto a jacket her sister gave her. She hadn't worn it in years, but every time she tried to let it go, she'd freeze. When I asked her what it reminded her of, she said, "My sister bought it when we weren't even talking much." It was her way of reaching out. That jacket wasn't about style. It was about connection. And once she saw that, she realized the connection had already done its job. She didn't need to keep the item to keep the meaning. Sometimes talking through one item, even just with yourself, is what frees you. It's not about the object. It's about being honest about what it really represents now. And once you've honored that story and made peace with it, you're in the perfect place to create a simple system, one that helps you hold decisions lightly, not all at once. You don't have to decide everything right away, and giving yourself that permission can change everything. One of the biggest mental blocks in decluttering is this idea that every single item needs an instant answer. Keep, toss, donate now. And when you're already drained, that pressure can freeze you. So instead of deciding, we delay. We leave things where they are, hoping clarity will come later, but it usually doesn't. That's where the not sure yet basket comes in. Here's how it works. Place a small neutral container in each major room of your home, somewhere low-key but easy to reach. Anytime you come across something you're not ready to decide on, drop it in. That sweater you haven't worn but still kind of like, in it goes. The extra charger you think you might need, toss it in. The random kitchen tool you forgot existed, into the basket. You're not making a final decision, you're just moving it out of the way so you can think more clearly. And the truth is, once it's not in front of you every day, your gut gets clearer. Every couple of weeks, check the basket. Most of the time, you'll realize you didn't miss those things at all. And letting go becomes easier, not because you forced it, but because you gave it room to breathe first. I've used this system in my own bedroom, kitchen, even my kids' rooms. It removes the guilt from hesitation. It gives space for slow decisions. And it keeps you moving even when your mind isn't fully ready. And once you've made space for uncertainty, the next habit helps you cut through the noise in a different way, by tuning into how your home actually makes you feel. Sometimes it's not about what an item does, it's about how it makes you feel. We've all heard the advice, if it's useful, keep it. And sure, that has its place. But when your home feels heavy or chaotic, usefulness isn't always enough. Because the truth is, plenty of useful things still make you feel bad. Maybe it's that water bottle that works fine but always leaks a little. Or the scarf your friend gave you that's beautiful but itchy and never quite felt like you. Or the picture frame that reminds you of a season in life you've already moved past. These are things that technically serve a function, but emotionally they weigh you down. And if your goal is a home that feels calm, not just efficient, that matters, next time you're sorting, try this filter. Don't ask, "Is this useful?" Ask, "How do I feel when I see or use this?" Light, neutral. Heavy, guilty. Tired. I once kept a set of plates because they were expensive and still in perfect shape. But every time I used them, I remembered the stressful phase of life when I bought them, and I never enjoyed a meal on them. Eventually, I gave them away to someone who actually loved the design. And I went back to my old mismatched set that made me feel at home. This tip isn't about being sentimental. It's about being honest. You deserve to be surrounded by things that support you, not just serve you. And once you start choosing based on how things feel, not just what they do, you'll find it easier to protect something even more valuable, your time. There was a time when I thought decluttering was all about space. Then I realized it was stealing my time too. Every item you keep is something you'll touch again. You'll dust it, move it, dig around it, reorganize it. And those minutes, they don't seem like much until they start adding up. That drawer of tangled cords you never sort through. Every time you open it, you waste 30 seconds. The closet stuffed with maybe one-day clothes. That's 5 minutes each morning deciding what not to wear. The full kitchen cabinet that makes it hard to find your favorite mug. Another minute lost. Now multiply that by 365 days. Suddenly, clutter isn't just a space issue, it's a time thief. This shift is simple. When you're unsure about an item, don't just ask, "Do I use this?" Ask, "Is it worth the time it takes to keep?" That question alone has helped me let go of so many perfectly fine things. Because if it's not adding to your life, it's probably taking from it. You don't need more storage. You need fewer items demanding your energy every week. Because time, especially for women juggling 1,000 invisible tasks, is more precious than square footage. And when you start seeing clutter as a time cost, not just a space problem, it becomes much easier to say no to things that don't deserve a yes. Let's talk about the someday stuff. The things we hold on to for a version of ourselves we thought we'd become. We all have them. The jeans we'll fit back into when we get serious. The yoga mat we bought during a health kick. The sewing machine for the hobby we never actually started. These items live quietly in our homes whispering, "One day you'll use me." But here's the truth, if something's been waiting for over 6 months, it's not really part of your life. It's part of a story you've been trying to keep alive. And keeping those items doesn't motivate you. It drains you. Because instead of feeling inspired, you feel behind. Like you're failing at a goal you didn't even agree to anymore. That doesn't mean you've given up. It just means your life has changed and you get to change with it. Try this: pick 3 items you've been keeping for someday. Lay them out. Ask yourself honestly, am I keeping this because I love it? Or because I feel like I should become the person who uses it? I once let go of a set of expensive art supplies I'd barely touched. They were beautiful. They were also a reminder of a creative dream I no longer had energy for. Letting them go didn't mean I was less creative. It meant I was clearing space for the version of me that actually exists now. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow things. And you are allowed to build a home that fits this season of life, not the version of you hoped might show up someday. And once you release the pressure to live up to your past plans, it opens the door to something gentler progress that fits into real days, not imaginary ones. We always think decluttering needs a big block of time. But what if it could happen in the middle of an ordinary day? You don't need to wait for a free weekend. You don't even need a full hour. You just need to make use of the little pockets of time that already exist, the ones that normally slip by while you wait for water to boil the oven to preheat, or your kid to finish brushing their teeth. These tiny in-between moments are perfect for light decluttering. And I mean light. 1 expired spice jar. 3 napkins from a takeout order. That weird kitchen gadget you never touch. I started this in my own kitchen during dinner prep. I'd open 1 drawer or shelf, no pressure to finish anything. Just grab 1 or 2 things that didn't belong or were no longer useful. 5 minutes here, 3 minutes there, and over time the clutter in that space dropped without me ever scheduling a decluttering session. The same applies in the bathroom. While the shower's heating up, peek under the sink. Toss that old bottle you're never going to use. In the laundry room, while the machine runs, do a quick scan of shelves or baskets. This approach doesn't just save you time, it also retrains your brain. Instead of seeing clutter as a job to do later, you start seeing it as something you can chip away at calmly, easily, without overwhelm. And when decluttering feels this manageable, it makes space not just on your shelves, but in your mind for the things that truly matter. Finally, here's the simplest truth: every item you let go of gives something back. Decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's about creating space to think, to breathe, to feel like yourself again. Every item you release is a quiet trade. You're letting go of 1 more thing to manage, clean, avoid, or feel guilty about, in exchange for 1 small win, a clear shelf, a calmer drawer, a little less decision fatigue. If you're ever unsure about what to keep, try asking, what will I get back if I let this go? You might be surprised by how often the answer is peace. I once had a small cupboard filled with mismatched mugs. Most were gifts. Most I didn't love or use. One day I kept just a few favorites and donated the rest. The next morning when I opened the door, it felt easy, like I could finally breathe a little deeper. That's what clutter steals and what letting go returns. Not just tidy shelves, but a sense of ease, of enough. You don't need to own less for the sake of it. But you do deserve a space that supports your life, not weighs it down. In the end, that's what this whole journey is about: not having less, but finally feeling more like you. That's how I've slowly made space in my home and in my mind without the pressure to do it all at once. If you're feeling overwhelmed and just want a little more breathing room, try one small shift at a time. I've made a separate video that walks through decluttering each area of your home. You might want to watch it next. And if any part of this felt helpful, go ahead and like or subscribe. It lets me know what's really making a difference for you. And if you ever feel like your home resets to chaos overnight, tomorrow's video will shift that for you. I'll walk you through the exact rhythm I follow to keep things consistently clear without ever having to start from zero. Trust me, it's one you'll want to come back for.